Welcome to Big Brainer Podcast. My name is Dana Ohana, and this is the place where you're going to learn more about social media, brand building, other marketing topics, and around our journey as entrepreneurs. And today, because it's the beginning of the year of 2023, I wanted to speak about courage and how we can actually find the courage to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. Because how many of us are finding myself that we maybe want to do certain things, but then our fears come in and then we're not sure, should we do it, should we not? Maybe it's the fear from failure. Maybe it's the fear because we're not feeling confident enough. It can be different type of fears. But those things are holding us back from actually doing something that can really help us to grow, really going to help us to be in a better place. And especially when we are on a journey as entrepreneurs, we need to find a way that we can push ourselves every time, step by step, and in your own pace to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. Even if I look at myself, when I first, I never had the courage to start my own business. I needed to actually lose my mom in order for me to understand that I don't want to, wait for my bank to come, and I need to get the courage, and I want to start my own business, and I'll do it. Um, and even with certain things that I wanted to do with my business, like starting my own online school, it took me a while. I was always feeling like not confident, maybe that do I know what to say? Do I have enough content? Can I do it? Can I not? And I was delaying it until I finally did it at the end of 2022. So we all have those things. And I want you to think with yourself, what are the things that you want to do that you're not doing because at top of a fear is something that's holding you back? So write it down, because one of the reasons, and I'm going to share a bit more tips now as well, on how we can actually build, finding the courage to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. But one of the first tips is actually to acknowledge our fears. So write it down to yourself, even pause the podcast and bring a piece of paper, or even do it on the notes on your phone, and just write down what are your biggest fears that are holding you back from doing certain things that you want to do within your business. Because you need to remember, by being and having the courage to do things, we can build self-confidence. We can actually get the option to see the world in a different perspective, in a more positive perspective. It also helps us to increase our sense of happiness if we actually embracing the courage and incorporating it into our life. It also helps us to be more successful, because we're more likely to pursue our dreams and to make the most out of each and every opportunity that life presents us. And we don't want to miss things just because we were not sure and we were afraid, right? So it is something that's why it's very important. So as I said, I want you to write down what is your fears? Because the first step is actually to acknowledge your fears. It's something that I actually once read in a book. And since then, I was walking and working with this all the time, saying to myself, okay, I know I'm afraid of this, and that's fine. By me acknowledging it, I'm basically giving it the space, but I'm not letting it guide me and control me in life. Okay? Because then I'm basically confronting it. I was like, okay, you're afraid of this, but why are you afraid of this? Okay, and what's the worst case scenario if it's not going to work out because of that fear? And one of the things that I love to remind myself all the time is that the no is always there already, right? You don't have that thing. You're not succeeding in that thing, or even in a relationship, right? You're not dating this person yet, or you'd still the no is there from the beginning. So when you try, you can either stay with the no that is already there, or you can get a yes, which is an amazing outcome, because that's what we wanted, right? So that's why it's very important, to look at your fears and confront them and remind you that, you've got nothing to lose. Okay? You're either going to stay where you are, or you're going to see a type of progress. So either way, you're not gonna be losing. And that's the part where you can actually confront it, which brings me to tip number two as well. And to use self-talk, but like positive self-talk. I love to do a lot of, like, I call it pep talks with myself, and then reminding myself and looking at the situation and tell me myself in a positive way. So what have I got to lose by trying? I can say, for example, when I started my business, because I started it in a different country in South Africa, which wasn't my home country, not my home language, like the English and everything. And South African is an audience that it's more difficult to gain their trust. Uh, and I was really figuring out, okay, I need to do something for it. But I knew I wanted to do live videos, but I didn't have the courage to do them. So I said, okay, doing my self talk. And then from here, like, I was like getting into tip number three, which is about getting more comfortable with the situation. I said to myself, okay, what will make me feel more comfortable with the situation? I said, I cannot do it by myself because I don't have the courage yet. So I reached out to someone else and I asked that lady if she wants to do those lives with me, something that we actually do now for, I think, more than 3 years. and and what we did is that I've offered it to her. She also wasn't sure about this, but then she said, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I remember that the night before our first live video, my stomach was so sore, I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous. But then I got up and I did it. And it felt actually amazing. It wasn't that bad as I thought it is. But then I did it for a while. And then at one point I realized, okay, now you feel more confidence with being in front of the camera to do those lives. But now I want a YouTube channel. I want to do also lives by myself. I need to get the confidence. So I started to push myself to do slowly, some lives with myself. In the beginning, I used to speak so fast. If I speak fast now, it was 10 times more than this. Okay, because I was feeling so uncomfortable. So I was like, blah, 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 like this. And then in time, I've realized more and more and built my confidence more and more. And every time I did to myself a pep talk, like, from a positive side, and I helped myself to feel more comfortable in the situation, that today I do lives and videos in my sleep when I do my TikTok and my Instagram reels. It takes me like 1, 2 takes, maybe three at the top. And that's it. It's like to build that confidence. And I really push myself. And I must admit that even in the beginning, when we used to do those lives, when I've done it with the other lady, it was funny because like she always, like, we used to do it in a hotel here in Cape Town. And every time once we finished the live, she always needed to listen and watch it. And I hated it. I couldn't even hear my voice. I couldn't look at myself. And I always used to tell her, like, go stand in the corner. And today I've built that confidence. And that's one of the beautiful things by finding the courage to do things outside of our comfort zone, is that it helps you really to build your confidence. And today I have that confidence that I can stand and, as I said, to do my TikTok and Reels very quickly. And I don't really care, like, on the look, on the sound of my voice. I'm accepting it. Okay. And that's that part. So when you're really trying to find ways, to be more courage, so I'll just gonna go over some of the tips that I've shared up until now. Acknowledge your fear. Okay. Confront that fear, deal with that fear. Okay. Then makes yourself like, what was the word I was looking for? Use like positive pep talks, okay? That's gonna help you to encourage yourself to get to the next step, which is to feel more comfortable with where you are with this, okay? So, and I want you again just to write down those things. Write down like how you're gonna deal with things. What are your biggest fears? Really work on that side, because basically courage means that you're being afraid and you acting in a certain way because of that fear. But now you want to lead yourself to a place that you're doing positive things, with that fear that's going to bring you to a happier place, to a successful place, okay? And remember that the courage is also is a habit, it's a muscle. So you can actually exercise on it, okay? No one actually was born from the beginning necessarily with a lot of courageous. Like as babies, yes, we have the courage because we get up and we fall and we get up and we fall, right? They do it so many times, like we don't like give up as babies, because if we would have give up, human being would not be able to actually, not everyone would be walking, right? So the same as we were kids and we were like fearless in a way, we need to practice it again and get us there again. So don't forget that as well. And notice that every time that you do something that you are scared to do, something that your body maybe is telling you not to do, you're going to start to realize that like it's just a matter of time, and quickly it's going to move from a feeling that you're being scared and your body is not feeling comfortable maybe with, to something that it's getting more comfortable. But it's still going to also have always that like something like in your stomach, like that excitement. That's like it's like excitement with fear, with not knowing what's going to happen, right? Like for me, every time before I I join a different networking group and then I need to present myself, it's not that I'm not confident enough to share about my business, but I always have like an inner feeling, right? Like inside my body about this. And then it's that like fear with excitement. But then I'm reminding myself, as I said, like I do those pep talks that like, no, you're fine and you know exactly what you do and you're gonna be okay and all gonna be good. And I do those pep talks and then I like feel the confidence. And I just want to say one more thing about it. Because I want to connect it a bit to failure. Because a lot of time, one of the things that we don't have the courage to do things out that are outside of our comfort zone is because we have a fear from failure. But I actually stopped using the word failure. I call it key learning. And that's something we need to remember because there's no such thing like, what do you mean like you failing? So you're not succeeding. Okay, so what? So use it as a key learning. Use it as something that's going to help you to learn, okay, I gave it a try. It wasn't working. So instead of doing like a self-talk to yourself, a negative one, that you're like, you see, I knew it, that it's not going to work, that I'm going to be a failure, like all those type of negative things that we say to ourselves. Instead of it, you do it from the positive side. So you do a positive self-talk, a positive pep talk that you say to yourself, okay, so it wasn't working. Why wasn't it working? What can I learn out of it so I can improve it for next time? What can I do to take it to the next level? And that's the difference. And those are the things that's going to help you again to overcome your fears, overcome everything that's holding you back, and really take you step by step to a place that you're doing more and more things that are outside of your comfort zone. And the last thing that I want to mention is that you need to remember that each and every one of us have different fears. Each and every one of us has a different pace of doing things, our own like rhythm of doing things. So don't rush into things, do things in your own pace, step by step, baby steps. You don't necessarily need to say, I want to go live by myself on a video and then tomorrow do it. Do it baby steps. So one time record it up front. Second time, maybe do it the live with someone else. Third time, maybe you do it and having like people that you feel comfortable with in the room with you so you're not feeling alone. And then the last time you do it by yourself. So that can be, for example, you do it gradually. You're not just jumping very quickly and doing things. So listen to yourself. So as I said, acknowledge your fears. Do a positive self-talk. Feel, comfortable with the situation. Follow things. Remember that you want to make it as a habit. Do it step by step. And remind yourself that even as a kid, you had the courage to do certain things that got you to where you are today as an adult. So don't let your fears and perceptions and what we call on a spiritual level, the mind that is full with perceptions and fears and ego and all of it to hold you back. You can overcome it. but do it in your own pace. So I would love to hear what are your takeaways from this? What are the things that you're going to put on a list for 2023 that's going to help you to push yourself to do things that are outside of your comfort zone? And let's together, right? Let's like maybe write it down and share it with each other so we can actually, check out like during the year, at the end of the year, if we're done it or not. So don't forget, you want to do things that are outside of your comfort zone because that's going to lead you to be more happy, more confident, and successful. Good luck.